I went to my window, opened it, and looked out. I traced the white road winding round the base of one mountain and vanishing in a gorge between two. How I longed to follow it further. I desired liberty. For liberty I gasped. For liberty I uttered by prayer. It seemed scattered on the wind and then faintly blowing. I abandoned it and framed a humbler simplification. For change, stimulus. This petition, too, seemed swept off into vague space. Anybody may blame me who likes, when I add further that, now and then, I took a walk by myself in the grounds. I climbed the 3 staircases alone, raised the trap-door of the attic, and having reached the leads, looked out afar over sequestered field and hill, and along dim skyline. That then I longed for a power of vision that might overpass that limit, which might reach the busy world, towns, regions full of life I had heard of but never seen. That then I desired more of practical experience than I possessed, more of intercourse with any kind of acquaintance with variety of character than was here within my reach. I valued what was good around me, but I believed in what I wished to behold. Who blames me? Many, no doubt, but I shall be called discontented. That I could not help it. The restlessness was in my nature. It agitated me to pain sometimes. Then my sole relief was to walk along the corridor of the 3rd story, backwards and forwards, safe in the silence and solitude of the spot, and allow my mind's eye to dwell on whatever bright visions rose before it. And certainly there were many and glowing, to let my heart be heaved by the exultant moment, which, while it swelled and it troubled, expanded it with life, and best of all, to open my inward ear to a tale that was never ended, a tale my imagination created, and narrated continuously, quickened with all of incident, life, fire, feeling, that I desired and had not in my actual existence. It is in vain to say human beings ought to be satisfied with tranquility. They must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. Millions are condemned to a stiller doom than mine, and millions are in silent revolt against their lot. Nobody knows how many rebellions besides political rebellions ferment in the masses of life within people's earth. Women are supposed to be very calm, generally. But women feel just as men feel. They need exercise for their facilities and a field for their efforts, as much as their brothers do. They suffer from too rigid a restraint, too absolute a stagnation, precisely as men would suffer. And it is narrow-minded in their more privileged fellow creatures to say that they ought to confine themselves to making puddings and knitting stockings and playing on the piano and embroidering bags. It is thoughtless to condemn them or laugh at them if they seek to do more or learn more than custom has pronounced necessary for their sex. A sneer, however, whether covert or open, had now no longer that power over me it once possessed. The fact was, I had other things to think about. Within the last few months, feelings had been stirred in me so much more potent than anything they could raise. Pains and pleasures, so much more acute and exquisite, had been excited within me than any it was in their power to inflict or bestow. That their airs gave me no concern either for good or bad was marvelous. No sooner did I realize that his attention was riveted on them, and that I might gaze without being observed, than my eyes were drawn involuntarily to his face. I could not keep their lids under control. They would rise, and the irids would fix on them. I looked and had an acute pleasure in looking. A precious yet poignant pleasure, pure gold with a steely point of agony. A pleasure like what that thirst-perishing man might feel who knows the well to which he has crept is poisoned, yet stoops and drinks divine draughts nevertheless.